Notre Dame alum and man of many accomplishments, John McHale, Jr., class of 1971, the executive vice president at Major League Baseball. John, welcome, my friend, to Notre Dame Day.
Brian, thank you very much. You didn't tell me you were going to put me on after Shakespeare.
I understand that you were born into a Notre Dame family. Tell us about it.
Well, my father was a 1945 graduate, although he entered as a part of the class of 43. His studies were interrupted by some service in the Navy at that time. And his younger brother, Tom, was, I believe, a 52 graduate. So I had some good guidance to South Bend.
And I know that after you graduated Notre Dame, you earned a couple of law degrees at Boston College as well as Georgetown, which of course led you to a 10-year career as a lawyer in Denver before making a huge career shift to jump into professional baseball with the Colorado Rockies. Tell us about that and that transition.
Well, I think the transition was probably prompted by an excess of hubris. I was part of a team of wonderfully dedicated, enthusiastic, mostly volunteers who worked hard to keep Colorado and Denver alive as a possible relocation site or an expansion site for Major League Baseball. This is an effort which dated back to the rumors surrounding the origin of the Continental League back in the early 60s, and so people were looking at it as a decades-old quest. But we ended up being somewhat like the dog that finally caught the bus. We were fortunate enough to be awarded an expansion franchise by the National League in 1991 on the strength, really, of the new stadium proposal. And I had been fairly deeply involved in that work for a couple of years, and the new ownership group gave me a chance to transition to the club side. I was giddy at the opportunity and accepted, and have really never really looked back, except with some regret at the missing the wonderful community of lawyers and judges in Colorado and Denver. But it's been a wonderful life, and I've had a lot of great opportunities, and it was really a remarkable confluence of factors and a great opportunity for me.
And John, let's talk about some of those opportunities. I'm from the city of Detroit, so I know that you run the Detroit Tigers, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, for an owner, by the way, who is a fellow Notre Dame alum. And now you're the executive vice president of Major League Baseball. As you look back at your career in baseball, what are you most proud of?
Well, I think that the project which resulted in the development of Comerica Park in Detroit is probably the most gratifying, because it was, without question, the most difficult thing that I have been involved in baseball. The many factors working against development in downtown Detroit had to be encountered. We had again, wonderful support from the mayor, Dennis Archer, enough support statewide, and we had the burning, undying, undeniable commitment of an owner who was just going to see this thing done no matter what. It had a lot of obstacles, a lot of lawsuits, a lot of litigation, but eventually it ended up being a combined project with the Lions. And every time I see a baseball game from Comerica Park and I see that skyline of Detroit, I'm very, very proud of the role that I played, along with many others, in making that a reality.
And John, we all want to know, as we wrap up your interview here, if you still have time to follow the Fighting Irish sports teams here at Notre Dame.
Yeah, of course I do. You never lose that enthusiasm. I was, as would be expected, we had a great manager named Mike Keating, who's a class behind me, who keeps an internet link going of all of us from that era. And I was reviewing some material sent by my old teammate Bill Bars just a short while ago. So yeah, I have plenty of time to follow the Notre Dame football team.
All right, John, I was stoked I was able to do this interview today. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us for Notre Dame Day, my friend.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for asking me.
All right, thank you. Go Irish. Justine, back to you.